You know, if there's one thing we humans have always been obsessed with, it's control. Today, we're going to take a wild ride from ancient magic all the way to modern malware. We're going to peel back the layers and look at the systems we've built for centuries to try and make sense of a pretty chaotic world. All right, so let me just throw this out there. What in the world does an ancient Japanese purification ritual have in common with, say, the latest Windows 11 security update? I mean, seriously. At first glance, it sounds like a trick question, right? They're separated by centuries, by totally different ways of looking at the world. But here's the thing. The answer gets right to the heart of what makes us human. They're both incredibly complex systems. I'm talking about systems with their own rules, their own logic, their own step-by-step procedures. And they have the exact same goal, to protect us from threats we can't see. Doesn't matter if it's a restless ghost or a piece of malware, our go-to move has always been to build a system to fight it. So to really get what I'm talking about, let's rewind. Let's look at how ancient cultures came up with rules for that unseen world, how they built these amazing, all-encompassing systems just to get by in a world they believed was full of spirits and mysterious forces.
Okay, first up, the Aboriginal Dreamtime. Now, this is so much more than just a bunch of creation stories. The best way to think about it, it's like an operating system for reality. Seriously, it's a complete framework that spells out all the laws, all the rituals, and all the things you need to do to keep everything in balance. You know, people, the land, the spirit world, the whole shebang.
And get this spirit world wasn't some random free-for-all. Oh no, it was super organized. You can see there's a whole hierarchy here. Way up at the top, you've got these all-powerful creator beings, the All-Fathers. And then underneath them, you have this huge network of lesser spirits, each one tied to a specific place or a specific tribe, guys like the Lightning Brothers or the Red Kangaroo Man. It's basically a complete catalog of the invisible world, a system for putting a name to every single force out there. Now let's hop over to a different culture and see the same idea at play. In classical Japan, you had Onmyodo. And again, this was another super structured system. It blended astrology, fortune-telling, you name it. There were these officials, the Onmyoji, and their whole job was to perform these very specific rituals, with names and everything, to protect against bad luck and disease. You could almost think of them as spiritual IT support for the emperor. It was all about following the right steps, the right protocol to control those unseen forces. Okay, so let's hit the fast forward button. Big jump in time. The modern world comes up with a completely different system for handling the unknown. But, believe me, it's just as powerful. And that system? It's the demand for cold, hard proof. So, check this out. Between 1957 and 1960, the FBI, yes, the FBI, was actually looking into ESP, extrasensory perception. They thought, hey, maybe we can use this for spying. But their system of control wasn't about chance or rituals. It was all bureaucracy and the scientific method. And just look at their conclusion from their own files. No scientific support. And that was it. Case closed. The system worked exactly as designed. You control the unknown by proving it doesn't exist. You just debunk it and poof, it's gone. But not all the scary stuff is out there. We also build these really complex systems inside our own heads. We use stories, we use metaphors, to try and box up our deepest fears, our traumas. The horror writer Shirley Jackson was a master at this. She took the whole haunted house idea and turned it into this incredible system for talking about the paranoia of women who felt trapped in their own homes in the 1950s. This quote from her, it just nails it. It's about this feeling of being stuck, of deciding to stay in the well because you can't see a way out. The real horror isn't some ghost hiding in the attic. It's the house itself. The system of confinement. And you see this idea get even weirder and more modern in surrealist horror. Take the Book of X. In it, the main character is born with this literal knot in her stomach. And that knot becomes a whole system for the story. It's how she deals with trauma that's been passed down, with how she sees her own body. And as this review points out, even when she gets the knot surgically removed, the scars are still there. It's a powerful way of saying that the system she inherited, her family's history, is literally written on her. It's a code you just can't delete. Which finally brings us right back to today, to right now. Because this ancient, deep-seated human need to build systems of control, well, it's reached its ultimate form. I'm talking about the digital fortress, modern cybersecurity. And guess what? Just like with ancient magic, it's not like there's just one way to do it. We've got these different schools of thought, all competing, You've got Microsoft, whose main rule is basically don't break anything. Stability comes first. Then you have something like the CIS benchmarks, which are all about building defenses in layers, like a medieval castle. And then you've got the NSA. Their rules are designed to fight the scariest things out there. We're talking nation-state hackers. So for them, security is everything, even if it makes your computer a pain to use. See? They're all different philosophies, different systems for controlling the same digital ghosts. And the actual steps inside these systems, they are just as strict and rigid as any ancient ritual. Let's take a feature called Secure Launch. Before your computer even boots up, it does its own little ceremony. It uses special instructions baked right into the CPU to force it down a secure path. It's basically creating a clean, safe space for the operating system to start, like a digital purification rite. And this protects it from these really nasty deep threats called rootkits that your normal antivirus has no idea are even there. Okay, here's another one. Credential Guard. The easiest way to picture this is like a super secure vault deep inside your computer. It uses this really clever virtualization trick to wall off a totally separate area where it keeps your most important secrets, like your password hashes and all the keys to your accounts. So this is the really cool part. Credential Guard isn't just a piece of code. It's a whole concept. What it's really doing is creating a digital sanctuary, a sacred space. And inside that space is your digital identity. Think about it. Even if an attacker gets the highest level of control over your machine, we're talking system privileges, which is like a demon possessing the whole computer, they still can't break into that sanctuary. They can't steal your digital soul. And this is where it all comes back around. There's this set of rules called attack surface reduction. And honestly, they're basically modern-day magic words. Seriously, each rule is like a specific little spell designed to stop a known type of evil. So instead of warding off a mischievous spirit, you're blocking a common hacking technique. You've got one spell to stop password theft, another to stop a bad Word doc from starting more trouble. These aren't just settings, they are digital incantations to protect your machine. So when you take a step back and look at the whole picture, from the ancient dream time all the way to a digital fortress, this deep, universal human pattern just clicks into place. It's crystal clear.
The ancient ritual with all its strict steps? Well, that's just become the modern security policy. They're both just rule books you have to follow, letter for letter, to stay safe.
The demon, that invisible, evil thing trying to cause harm, today, that's malware, an invisible, malicious piece of code trying to do the exact same thing. And that protective amulet, that physical object you'd wear to keep you safe, that's become your encryption key, just a string of text that hides your secrets from anyone who shouldn't see them. So, that leaves us with one last question to chew on. Our systems for controlling the world have always changed to face new dangers. But what happens when our digital fortresses get, well, perfect? As we get better and better at stopping the threats from out there, what new systems are we going to need for the horrors that are already in here? The anxiety, the trauma, the things no firewall is ever going to stop.